blah blah blah. Alright guys, I need this grinder, and it works just fine. There's some wiring issues, and somewhere in here it's got some sort of unknown capacitors down under here. It is a Independent Pneumatic Tool Company, a Thor bench grinder. It's a 1 horsepower, 1700 RPM grinder. Recently put a wire wheel on it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and powder coat it and clean it up. It's a nice old grinder, and I think it's from my great-grandfather's era, and so it deserves to be cleaned up and fixed up. I think there's some covers that went on here. Don't know if I'll be able to find those on eBay or not. And then there was something that mounted here. Don't know if we'll be able to find those, but for now we're just going to take this thing apart, powder coat it. It'll be my first endeavor doing some chintzy Harbor Freight home powder coating, so we'll get that done. And yeah, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do some time lapse or what for the taking it apart, but you guys can follow along. Alright. I could grab my socket set, but I'm just going to use the handy dandy crescent wrench. As long as things aren't so tight I can't get them off. things to replace. Things like washers that don't fit. I got a couple of small screws that are broke off and some cast iron to get those out. Other than that, it's going to be straightforward sandblast and powder coat. My first time powder coating, so I got to go to Harbor Freight and I got to get the oven going and all that. But pretty straightforward. I may take the windings apart, not the windings themselves, but the case for the windings, because I'd like to powder coat that too. The coil itself, or the exterior piece, I don't know what that's called. It's called the armature, or I don't know, but this part I won't be able to powder coat. I'll probably paint that flat black or something to go with the gloss black of the machine. So I'm going to go through the hardware and see what needs to be replaced, what heads are sort of stripped out, and just evaluate everything, do a bunch of cleanup, and we'll see you guys when we're ready to powder coat, all that kind of stuff. So I used a lot of sand yesterday, sandblasting these cast iron parts. Also, I've got an issue with the lights. I hope it doesn't end up banding on YouTube, but the PMW, the 60 hertz refresh rate, is, if I point the camera up, is coming through from these LEDs. So I'm gonna have to get online and see if there's something I can do to fix that. Anyways, used a lot of sand, got these sandblasted. They're ready to go, so I'm going to preheat them in the oven, get them up to 400 degrees. That's what the powder takes. It's my first time powder coating. Hope to goodness it goes well. I bought a Harbor Freight powder coating gun, so we'll see how that goes. I may do what's called hot flocking because there's some bolt holes I want to get in, but then at the same time I don't really want the powder in the threads, so I'm gonna do a little experimenting. I'm gonna hang them up in here and kind of just see what happens. So I'll get you guys off the tripod and just kind of show you what they look like right now. I've made sure not touch them, so I got my little bag. I couldn't find my gloves, I don't know where they're at, so got my little baggy glove to keep my greasy mitts off there, and we'll get you guys off the tripod here. So you can kind of see what the powder coating did. You can see, like right here, there's some casting pits. Probably not going to be able to fix those, but this is the raw version of these. So I'm going to get some powder coating going here. Hopefully my hand's not in the way. I'm going to get some powder coating going here. I'm going to try coating them while they're cold, and I may end up hot flocking them. We'll see how this goes, and if there's I forget what they call that, the magnetic, it's like Gaussian, or I can't remember what it's called, but it's where you can't get in areas where the powder is influenced by the electromagnetic forces. So I'm sure I'm forgetting what it actually means, but we'll see how they go.